line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one's hit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
I mean, there was never a doubt Never a doubt. I told you this is how it was going to end. I don't know why they had to drag it out 7 games. Never a doubt Miami was going to hold on to this thing. Never a doubt. Everybody turned on the Heat. Not everybody. I didn't turn on the Heat. That's what I told you in your tweet yesterday. Not everybody. I did tell somebody that you and I both know on the range yesterday. I said, I kind of like the Heat tonight. I think the Heat are going to win. Everybody's against them. I'm going against the crowd. Heat 103, Celtics 84. They ran them out of their own built last night in Game 7. Shut all those Bostonians up. And now there's a whole lot of questions in Beantown. What's up, Hope? We had a great Memorial Day weekend. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
How was the weekend?
Weekend was good.
Yeah?
It was.
All right. How you doing back there? How was your big, long weekend?
You know, it was excellent. Weather was great. Got
What?
to hit the pool.
Hit the pool?
Yeah.
All right. Hit any balls?
I actually did. I went to, what is it, Del Sol? Is that right?
Puerto del Sol?
That
Over
is
by the
correct.
airport?
Yeah, we hit 9. It was very nice.
Beautiful.
Very pleasant.
Beautiful. Good weekend. Hope you all had a great weekend. We're here for you to respond to everything that went down, and boy, did a lot go down. DeAndre Hopkins is on the market. Jimmy G might be on the market. We got SEC maybe 9 games, but we're going to start with the NBA Finals, which are now set. The Nuggets have been sitting around for over a week. You wearing your old school Nuggets jersey back there? Yep, beautiful. Yep. All right.
Got the porter.
DC's. Is that old school or is that like? I mean, it's not now school, but it's not really old school, right? Old school to me would be Dan Issel, David Thompson, George McGinnis.
Yeah, this is definitely not old school. This is the new city kit they came out with about 4 years ago. So
Basketball
it's got the
kit?
alternative.
No,
All right.
but it works.
All right. I just want to make sure. No, I'm good. I just want to make sure I didn't miss something.
You'll see some
I like
old
the
school
city
this week.
All right. I'm down with that. Heat have something to them. I'm going to reiterate a theme I got, and this is why I'll pick the Nuggets in the finals because I think the Nuggets are no, and I'll tell you why. But and we'll get into why I'm going to pick the Nuggets. But there's something about the Heat, and there's a grit, and there's a toughness, and there's an it. And I said this to somebody you and I both know on the range yesterday. There's something about them, and every single time you look at them and say they're done, they have an answer. And there was no reason to believe that they were going to come back after the heartbreak. And I compared what happened to them in Game 6 to the Seahawks, the Malcolm Butler play. I'm like, how do you come back from that, right? You're right there. It's over. You've got it won at, right? Just out of nowhere. How do you come back from that? And I'm not sure Seattle has ever come back from that, right? But how do you come back? And they did. And JJ, they are so impressive from, and I'm going to get into Eric Spoelstra, but Caleb Martin was the former Nevada Wolfpack star, was great, but up and down their lineup, there's something to the intangible in sports. We've been doing this for long enough. If you've played, if you've watched, if you've been a part of it, you understand the unspeakable, right? The inexplicable, the whatever the intangible is. Now, that's not to take away from how good their roster is and how good they played and what they do tangibly, but there's something about them, and they ran Boston out of the building, took their heart out of their chest, stepped on it, and showed it to their whole crowd.
We have to discuss the end of Game 6 to set up Game 7.
Yes.
Because of what happened in Game 6, the fourth quarter rally from the Heat to have the lead. To me, that set the tone for Game 7, and that is one where, with the Miami Heat, even when they lost or they got blued out the belt in the second half, we never came back and were questioning the effort, were questioning the coaching, but we were constantly doing that with the Celtics. Anytime they got beat, it was because they weren't listening to their head coach. They weren't playing hard enough. But even in the losses, we didn't do that with the Miami Heat because of the tone that they set, because they just got beat. We never looked at the team and said, oh, they gave up, they quit, they're not playing hard. It was just moments where the Celtics' talent clicked, and they looked like the team you expected them to be. And I think that late Game 6 rally
By Miami.
Miami.
To get into position to win.
To be in position after Jimmy Butler goes 3 for 3 at the free throw line, setting up that just ridiculous game-ending play, really did set the tone for Game 7, because that is who the Heat are. They're a team that you never question if they're ready. They get beat, they get beat. We don't have this feeling that they quit or they're not playing hard. and that's a tone set by Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, I can't agree with that more. And so we'll get into Joe Mazzulla and the difference. But I can't agree with you more. The tone afterwards was we're going to come back. Do you see? I think you got a clip. Is it Spoelstra talking about how they responded? Is that what it is? Okay. I want what he said after the game, and what Jimmy Butler said after the game. Look, that was. I'm not going to tell you every team, but I'm going to tell you many a team would have been broken by that, right? Because everybody told you. I mean, whether you listen to Barkley and that set, whether you listen to whoever it is you listened to, they have to win in Game 6. Oh, if they have to go up to Boston for game, they can't get it done. They can't get it. This is a Game 7. This is a must win. This is everybody except for them and maybe I don't know. I for whatever reason I was on the Heat, man. But
It's not a bad place to be.
Their tone after the game, I know we're going to go get it done. There was no woe is me. There was no, I don't know how we come back from this, right? There was not one glimpse of that, at least nobody that they made public. If there was in the locker room, and Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler turned that around. Leadership is vital, man. Leadership is vital. And it stems from Pat Riley down through Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler. And that's why however you define it, how many franchises, how many groups, how many teams do you think, and there's no definitive answer to this, right, would have been able to come back the way they did? Not just come back, but come back the way they did. For JJ, that was as devastating as a loss as I honestly, I went all the way back to that Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl, Malcolm Butler. That's where my mind went. That's like, holy bleep, how do you respond from that?
And just sitting there, and I wrote that down, and I'm just like, how do they keep doing that? Like, how were the Heat constantly coming back, and they never seemed phased? We never had the questions about the Heat when they lost the way that we did with the Boston Celtics. And you saw it last night. And even with Jason Tatum, spraining his ankle on the first possession,
and that was a bummer.
That affected the Celtics, but they collapsed on themselves. There's still enough talent on that team that shouldn't happen. They shouldn't be getting glued out of their own built like that in Game 7, even with Jason Tatum hampered. But they struggled to respond. And what was evident with the Celtics is they are a team that if their offense isn't working, they let it affect every aspect of their game.
I agree with that because I thought they won Game 5 and the majority of Game 6 the way they played defensively, right? I thought when they really bothered Miami because Miami can be challenged offensively. And when I say challenge, I mean they can be challenging for them to find points, right? They don't have dynamic scorers. They don't. Who if you looked at them and said, who's their dynamic scorer? Like you're going to watch Jokic and Murray, right? Like, wow, they're dynamic scorers. Tatum is a dynamic scorer, right? Jimmy Butler is when he takes over the game, he can be. But who else?
Caleb Martin became the best offensive player for them late in that series, which is insane.
That's my point. So, thank you. Yes, right? So Caleb Martin, an undrafted free agent guy out of Nevada, who Reggie Miller had to tell you yesterday, if you're just joining us for Game 7 and going, who is this Caleb Martin guy? He's been doing it all series. Hell, he's been doing it all playoffs. He's been doing it the whole back end of the season. I want you to remember this is a Miami team that was in the play-in game, not the first play-in game. They had to win 2 play-in games. They had to win 2 play-in games. I had to play 2. Did they win them both? They did, right?
The Heat, no, they lost their
They lost their first one. They were in the 7-8 game. So they had to play 2 play-in games. I thought they lost. Right? That's how close.
Lost to the Hawks.
And then they had
lost to the Celtics in the first round.
And then they beat, was it New Orleans or no? Who beat New Orleans? It was that's on the other side. That's on the other side.
And then
whoever it was,
the Heat were down 3 points to the Chicago Bulls with 3:45 left in that second playing game,
and almost didn't get in the playoffs. So now it lends a little credibility to the play-in tournament, right? Because the Lakers got to the conference finals out of the play-in tournament, and the Heat are going to play for a championship out of the play-in tournament. So we'll have another day. We'll have that conversation. But I want your thoughts on how the Heat get it done, because I'm going to tell you, I think it is one of the most amazing things I've seen in a long time. And I know that sounds hyperbolic, but I'm going to tell you, watching this team go up 3-0 and then come back from the dead when everybody, it's historical collapse and here comes history and look, the Jason Tatum injury played a big part of that. And I give him credit for gutting it out and playing through it and never even getting treatment, and maybe he did in the locker room. But this is one of the most amazing things. And when we come back, and the numbers, let me give you phone numbers first. 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us today, 505-246-0610. Emails will come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Emails, did I already give you that? Oh, that's what that was. Yeah. Twitter, _JJ Buck, and watch the show. Adrian does a great job producing it on ProView Network's YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, or if you just want to put on Comcast Channel 26, we're there for you every single morning. Call DC. He'll take your call at 505-246-0610. When we come back, give him his damn due. He's earned it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Mitch, there's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one's hit the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her! Whoa, what a play
something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
It's off the smoke for the 7th game. The movement checked in, but the buzzer sounded. The light was on. It'll be reviewed. I don't think he got that in time. Great effort by Derek White. And didn't I say you have... Oh, they're saying on the floor, they're counting it. You have to protect the offensive rebounding. Oh, he got rid of it. That's a Celtic win, and we're going to Game 7. The Celtics are going to win. There's a Game 7 back in Boston.
Ruling on the floor is good basket. The play's under review.
White.
It's courtesy of TNT, and what an amazing moment. What a tough call that is, right? With the chaos going on, and Kevin Harlan, Stan Van Gundy, Reggie Miller, trying to figure it out as we all were. And I don't know what you thought, but I thought in the moment it was good. And if you track Derek White, it was such an unbelievable play by him. He was the inbounds man. He was the guy. And so many times to see a guy throw a pass in and just watch the play, right? He inbounded it and trailed it, and nobody touched him. And there he was and went straight to the rack and was able to put it in. It was phenomenal. And that's what forced yesterday. That's what forced yesterday. And I know the majority of you, and look, JJ, you know where I've been on the Heat, right? But I know the majority, and it made sense. I mean, it made sense to be on the Celtics. There's a couple things. And I said, give the man his damn due. JJ, how long have I been on Eric Spoelstra? Saying give him his due.
12 years?
I mean, right? And do you know he's never won Coach of the Year? Now, why would he? What's he done in the regular season? Well, he had LeBron James. And he had Dwayne. Like, those guys don't win, right? The guy with I don't know how many times Phil Jackson won Coach of the Year. I don't know how many times Red Auerbach. I honestly don't know. And I wouldn't have given him Coach of the Year this year. They had to play twice a play-in tournament to get in. I'm not saying he earned Coach of the Year this year. Name me 2 better coaches in the NBA right now. You can't. You can't. You can't. You might tell me Greg Popovich. And I would tell you right now, I think he might be better than Greg Popovich. Jeffy's got better players. Are there 2 better coaches than him in the NBA?
I think Eric Spoelstra is the leader in the clubhouse right now with what he's done with this group.
We say a lot, I hear, what are coaches in the NBA? What the hell do they do anyway? They roll up the balls and they're motivators. Okay, if they're motivators, again, I'm going to go back to that last play, the play that you just heard in Game 6. You guys, that is the kind of play that crushes a franchise. Am I wrong by comparing it to the Malcolm Butler play that
that's
the
a
Seahawks
great
going there?
comparison.
Right?
Right at the end.
You had it won. Your emotions, it's over. Oh, what the hell just happened, right? How do you come back from that? We come back from that, A, with great leadership, and B, with great players. And I don't know that they've got great players on that team. I think they've got good players. I think they've got really, good players. Who's great? Jimmy Butler? Okay, I'll give you that. Who else is great on that team? Their coach is great. And if we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about Joe Mazzulla later, but if we're going to talk about coaches and motivators and guys getting fired and Nick Nurse getting hired and all this, people say you pick up the personality of your coach. And I think this team's got the personality of your coach. And this is Eric Spoelstra after Game 6. I want you to listen. This is after they lost on Saturday night when Derek White came around the wing, okay? I want you to listen to what Eric Spoelstra had to say after that devastating loss after they were 1/10 of a second away from the NBA Finals.
Look, this is the way this season's been. This is one hell of a series. At this time right now, I don't know how we're going to get this done, but we're going to go up there and get it done. And that's what the next 48 hours is about. There's been nothing easy about this season for our group, and so we just have to do it the hard way. And that's just the way it's got to be, for our group. And we wish we could tip this thing off right now. Right now, we want to tip this thing off, and let's play another 48 minutes, but we'll wait 48 hours and do this thing in Boston.
We wish we could go right now. We just got our hearts ripped out. But let's go right now. I don't know, man. That's the guy I want leading my team.
And they all feed off that energy. Jimmy Butler's that same style of player. He presents the same thing when it comes to post game on the court. And it's one that you saw why this series played out the way it did. Because at times the Boston Celtics, they are still the more talented team,
yes,
even going home. But they were not able to find a level of consistency on the floor or off the floor in this series. And they're a team that if they're not hitting their shots, it affects every part of their game. If their offense isn't clicking, they're not going to play as hard defensively. They're not going to give you that extra effort. You're not going to see them win the 50-50 balls. Because that team should not, even with Jason Tatum on a bum ankle, score 84 points.
Like just get run out of their own gym.
In a Game 7. Yeah. But the Heat, the one thing with them, Bam could be having a bad day, as he was yesterday, not hitting any shots, missing stuff at the rim. And yet they're still playing hard. He's still a force inside. Defense. And just Eric Spoelstra, too. He changed. He benched Kevin Love. Mm-hmm. Love was only playing 15, 16 minutes anyway.
But he was starting.
In the series. He was in the starting lineup, benched him. And all of a sudden, Caleb Martin's playing 40 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. And Caleb Martin, going to close that game, has 26 and 10. And he scored 15-plus points in every game in the series.
Caleb Martin played more minutes than anybody yesterday, 45 minutes more than Jimmy Butler. Yeah, because he made adjustments. The zone defense that he went to, right? He made adjustments. But I'm going to tell you there's a lot to be said for the demeanor. The calm demeanor. There's no the sky is falling. This is how it is for us, man. This is who we are. We're going to find a way. I wish we could play right now. And I'm going to guarantee you in those 48 hours, and the players said it, Bam Adebayo said it after the game yesterday, they found a way to get it done. Whatever he said, got it done. Here's Eric Spoelstra after they got it done.
We know we have more work to do, but damn, is this hard. It is hard. It's hard business, and it's hard to survive 3 rounds just to get to that final round. We're extremely grateful for that. We're not even going to think about this next round until we get to Denver. And I wanted everybody to acknowledge just how difficult it is and, to enjoy this moment. It's the longer you're around in this business, you realize the harder and harder it is to do something like this. It's a special group, so we'll definitely take this, and it's poetic justice, to be able to get it on this court, tough environment. We'll celebrate a little bit tonight on that plane to Denver, and then we'll get on to that next challenge.
So I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's Phil Jackson or Red Auerbach, okay? Because just the numbers don't line up, right? Yet. In DC, for whatever reason, my assistant producer isn't working, so I can't see who's on line one. But I'll tell you what, he's really good.
You look at the groups he's done it with. He's done it with quote super team, managing the ego of LeBron James, getting those teams to function with, two superstars. Because Dwayne Wade at that time was a superstar level player. He had won a championship and one of the best shooting guards in the league. Getting Chris Bosh to play a different role, and then managing a bunch of veterans late in their career to just constantly go to the Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals appearances. Then the few years after that, where Miami's trying to figure themselves out, they eventually land Jimmy Butler, and that's now 2 finals appearances in 3 years for this group. And at the core of it, it's been Eric Spoelstra setting the tone, given the chance, and the message has never changed, and the team eats it all up.
Jared, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jared. You do it again. You there? Why can't I push that button? You put line 1 on the air, because for whatever reason I can't.
A baseball fan, maybe second sport might be football, and then maybe third is basketball. And my point is the quality of what I'm watching is deteriorating, and all the fanboys will hear me say that, and they'll, what are you talking about? You're crazy. No, not really. No, not really. And my question is in all seriousness, when LeBron James quits or retires, I don't know, 3 NBA players who are going to carry the flag for the NBA in the way that we had Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. There isn't anybody. I think the NBA has a real problem, and we could split hairs and say, well, they do $30 billion of business. They might do 35 next year, and they might do 36, and what kind of problem is that? But all I'm saying is in proportion to the growth that they've experienced in the last 20 years, yes, it's not even close. The quality is just, I wouldn't say garbage, but the star players for either the Celtics or the Heat last night, I mean, how many layups did you count that were missed? Layups with nobody on the guy. Layups.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So
all right.
I'm just asking, who's going to carry the flag
Victor
for the NBA? 'Cause I
Wembanyama.
don't really see anybody stepping up to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared. Victor Wembanyama will do it. All right. So who's the next generation of, right? You got LeBron and Curry kind of aging to the point where, who's next? And you could have said John Morant. I don't know if that's going to happen. No, you could have. You wouldn't have said that a couple months ago? Okay.
He's not. John Morant's good. He's not. What
right, so who's that?
Jared's talking about,
Victor
he's all-time great.
All right.
And right now, I think that's open.
Yeah.
We still got a few more years, I think, of Steph Curry being that guy. And people are realizing, this dude is going to be talked about forever in the game of basketball with what they've done. And that's a really fascinating way to look at it. Because a lot of times people will say they get tired of, we're just talking about LeBron James, or we're just talking about the Lakers. Can't we get something new? Well, you have an NBA that's as wide open as it's ever been.
Well, here, your young stars.
And someone thinks that, there's a problem now moving forward.
Who are your young stars in this league? Giannis, Embiid, Jokic. Kevin Durant's not young anymore. Am I missing someone? Do you think Devin Booker's to that point?
Well,
but I think he's on the precipice of that point. And Luka,
Jason Tatum.
Right, those are, so are they those guys to hit? I'm sure Jared's saying, "See, that's what I'm saying. Those guys aren't it." Right, we can have that discussion. We'll go through that more. I want to get into Joe Mazzulla next, the head coach, and I'm not going to call for him being fired, but he just hasn't earned that right yet. The right to what? That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by the Sandoval County.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover every filled with green stuff. One scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough. Back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
0610.
So we got a final set. Heat Nuggets. Just what ABC was looking for, I'm sure. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. 888-922-0610. All right, so I said going in the break, he hasn't earned that right yet. So you heard Eric Spoelstra, and the winning is always going to be more fun, but you heard Eric Spoelstra after he lost on on Saturday night, right? You heard about their game 6, and talking, and I thought he set the tone. Do you believe that teams take the personality of their coach? It's not absolute, but like often.
Yes, it helps set the tone of who they are.
All right. Do you believe that for the Heat they take the personality a bit of Eric Spoelstra?
Because Spoelstra's personality matches up with Jimmy Butler.
All right. Now I want to cut Joe Mazzulla a little bit of slack. Okay, I'm not going to call for him to be fired, and I do not believe that. I mean, they should go make a change. All right. That said, he's a first-year coach. He was thrown into the fire right before the season started. Got his team to Game 7 of the conference finals. I don't know who did him wrong or who's advising him or what. I don't know Joe Mazzulla at all. I don't know if he's a good guy, if he's not a good guy. No idea. His demeanor in the press conferences is like Belichick or Popovich without the 2 fists, 3 fists, 4 fists full of rings that they've got, right? Short, arrogant, like you are inconveniencing me. I'm just here because so I won't get fined. Marshawn Lynch stuff. Now, look, he didn't have to make any friends. It's not his job. Here's Joe Mazzulla. Is this after yesterday, right? I don't even know what he was asked.
Yeah, he's just an emotional key for us. When he's locked in and playing both sides of the ball at a different pace, it kind of gives us our identity in our life.
That was Game 5, right? That was after Game 5, and that was like the longest answer he's ever given. JJ, I don't mind a guy at the end of the third quarter when he's with who's it? Allie LaForce? Is that who it is? You're giving him one word answers, whatever. But his I don't know. Do you think I'm wrong? It comes across as really just
and it's the the questions are like, Joe, what was different from Game 6 to Game 7? We didn't hit shots.
Well, you didn't hit shots in Game 6, Joe. Like you shot 20%. He said we shot 21% from 3.
And it's the Greg Popovich, Bill Belichick answers to questions, which comes off worse when you're not performing. And it's really his attitude. It doesn't seem like it's forced. It doesn't seem like he's out there trying to get back at someone. That's just kind of who he is. But when you're not performing, you're underperforming in the majority of people's opinions. Your team doesn't look ready. Your team's not responding. Those answers are not going to go for.
Are you in the fire Joe Mazzulla camp or give him another year?
No, because is it Doc Rivers? All you're saying is, well, we need an experienced coach. Well, who's that experienced championship coach that is out there?
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams.
He's not a championship coach, but he's been to the.
Monty Williams would make a ton of sense there. But I also take a step back, and we're sitting here looking at people that trusted a process. And I look at Michael Malone, Denver Nuggets, his first 3 seasons in Denver, 0 playoff appearances.
Yeah.
Eric Spoelstra has been through everything with the Miami Heat, and it feels like Brad Stevens will give Joe Mazzulla a full off season. We'll let him come back because Jason Tatum's going to be the focal point of this roster. You're signing him to a Supermax deal. You still have some really interesting pieces. I don't think Boston moves on from him right now.
Darvin Ham was a first-year coach of the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, and for whatever reason, they got swept. But I feel, and maybe it's because, again, his demeanor as a leader, I feel better about him than I do about Joe Mazzulla. As a coach.
A lot of people will agree with that.
Yeah. Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Chad.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Just kind of thinking about the Boston Celtics roster going forward here. Some impressions from this last series was one that really stuck out was Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
And just he didn't shoot very well. He didn't, he played good defense at times. I don't give him that. He didn't shoot very well. He had a lot of turnovers. And when you look at the makeup of the roster, he's almost too similar to Jason Tatum. They're two guys, and I feel like if going forward, you can say, okay, guys, we've done this for a while. We're almost there, but we're not there. Maybe get rid of, maybe let him go and pick up a big guy, you know, a skilled big guy that is available. I don't know who's going to be out there, but somebody that would kind of space out the court a little bit better. Even I'm not a big fan of DeAndre Ayton, but
whoa, I didn't do that. Keep going. All right.
DeAndre Ayton was not a big fan of that take.
Yeah, I heard this after. Was it Marcus Spears? No, Big Swagger. What's his real name? We did that on ESPN.
Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins. Thank you. He said after the game that they should be done with Jaylen Brown, who shot yesterday 8 for 23 and had 8 turnovers, and they should pursue a Damian Lillard and try to make a trade with Portland or something to get a shooter, instead of go for a dominant big man. I don't know how many years Al Horford's got left. I thought Robert Williams was really good in his role, but there's two schools of thought here. Do you let this thing mature? They're still both really young, Tatum and Brown, and build around them, or, as Chad just said, are they too similar? Do you need a shooter and or big man, and do you use Jaylen Brown to get that?
First option for any team is there a way you can get Damian Lillard out of Portland?
Well, the answer is
because Damian Lillard is, the type of player that Boston needs. Edge, can be an alpha. Like Jason Tatum is, the dude scored 51 points in the game 7. I think some people have gone over the top on him not being the guy, or can he be an
turn
alpha?
His ankle yesterday too.
Like I'm still all in on Jason. He's 25 years old. He can show you can play at the highest level. He can be an MVP type of candidate. But I think you could maybe even unlock more of Jason Tatum. You put a Damian Lillard beside him. That's going to be the focal point for Boston, for Philadelphia. All these teams are going to try to go out there and get him. And if you're the Boston Celtics, you have a Jaylen Brown piece that you work a sign and trade. If I'm Portland and you have the number 3 overall pick, you could bring in someone like Jaylen Brown. Like, that would get me thinking,
So
okay,
wait,
like,
who's got the number 3 overall? Portland does?
Trailblazers.
All right, so what would be the package to get? So you get Jaylen Brown and what? What do you want? Because I'm not going. You're not Jaylen Brown for Dame Lillard isn't a trade, straight up. It's just not. You want Lillard? You're gonna have to give me more than just Jaylen Brown.
First round pick, 1 or 2 first round picks.
Okay. Do you want another piece? Is there a piece off that roster you want? If you're Portland?
No. You want
There's nothing?
flexibility.
Well, but if there's something you like, you say, give me Derek White.
Then I'm keeping Derek White and Jaylen Brown.
Okay. I'm trying. I'm trying. Yeah, there's not much more after that. But Marcus Smart, I'm good. Al Horford, I'm good. I guess what else is there? Robert Williams?
Yeah. Look at dude only playing 17, 20 minutes per game.
Okay, but what would he do up there?
Back up Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, fair enough. I wonder what the package would be.
Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard, based on age, is not crazy straight up.
If I'm Portland, I want a little more. So you want to throw me a
Yeah, if you're Portland, you keep missing the playoffs with Dame and bench him at the end of the season.
Yeah, but you realize how good he is and how valuable he is, and somebody will overpay for him. And I think Boston would overpay for him. And that's what I would push for. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. They may get better going into the next round. How will the Heat maybe get better? There may be an added piece as we go into the finals. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Deere.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses.
505-246-0610. That's the same number as the 377 Brewery hotline, 505-246-0610. If the Celtics are so in need of a new approach, including new players, how did they advance so far this season as well as in past seasons? First of all, we're having a conversation. I'm not convinced that they do. I don't think you are either. Now, you think if they can get Dame Lillard for Brown, you absolutely do it, right?
Yes, I'm not on the train that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum can't play together.
I'm not either.
But I would, if I can acquire Damian Lillard to make another push.
And that costs you Jaylen Brown?
And it costs Jaylen Brown, I'm making that trade.
All right. Secondly, they advanced one level less than they did last season. They believe that this is a championship roster. And if your aspiration is to get to the conference finals, then no, leave it alone. You got a roster that should contend to go to the conference final last year to the NBA finals. Then leave it alone. If your aspiration, which I know theirs is, being the Boston Celtics, is to win a championship, you've just made 2 runs and you finished one level shorter than you did a season ago. You did not progress. You regressed one. Now, it's pretty good regression. You're in the conference final. But if that's your goal, that's cool. But knowing that their goal is to win a championship, they're going to look at tinkering with the roster, don't you think?
Absolutely.
That's
Especially when you're looking at 2 guys in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown that are going to be on max deals. And is it make more sense to acquire a Damian Lillard or even move on from Jaylen Brown instead of just maxing both those guys and keeping your fingers crossed that you can do what's needed with the rest of the roster?
Yeah. All right, here we go. Moving forward, we got the Nuggets and the Heat. It's Thursday and Sunday in Denver. Thursday and Sunday, games 1 and 2 in Denver. And the Heat are going to get, or may get back. How about that? May get back one of their big offensive weapons. They've gotten all the way through the playoffs without their best shooter, correct?
Yeah.
Tyler Hero is their best shooter. He fractured his hand and is expected to return at some point during the NBA Finals. Bleacher Report's Chris Haynes is saying that. The targeted return game is Game 3. That would be Miami's first home game of the series. Okay, that I think is like next Thursday or so. I don't know, by the time they stretch this out Wednesday. So he suffered it in the first round upset of the Bucks. Hadn't played since. And at the time they said if they get to the finals, he might be there, and everybody kind of laughed. Yeah, that's cute. If they get to the finals, okay. Oh, wait, they beat the number 1 seed. And then here they are in their finals. This is a big deal. If he look, they've done this. That's another part of what makes this so amazing. Right? Yeah, Jason Tatum hurt his ankle yesterday. And Tyler Hero's not their best player. He's their best shooter. They did this with Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin and a bunch of guys that, I mean, probably Max. Did you know who Max Strus was before the playoffs started? Honestly. I mean, you did.
Not many people did.
But, I mean, do you know he's a third-season guy out of DePaul? Did you know who Gabe Vincent was? You knew who Caleb Martin was because you were a Mountain West fan. But what they've done is pretty amazing. And look, I don't know if he's going to be in rhythm. All I know is shooters. I've watched shooters win games, right? I'll take Denver in this series. I love Miami's Heat. I just think Denver is rested. Look,
this is where Miami loves to be.
I know. No, that's everything tells me I should take
run
Miami.
It back. It's
everything tells me.
Eastern Conference Finals 2.0.
I know. Everything tells me I should take Miami. Everything in me, because I love their grit. Here's why. I think at some point, now they get a few days, they just played a brutal 7-game series. They're going to go to altitude. Denver's rested. Now, I think you unload on game 1 on Monday night, Denver, right? You don't like that? You don't like Denver game where you think they could be rusty?
Style of play for Miami, even though in a 7-game series, man, they weren't under pressure in Game 7.
They're so calm. They're so good. they're so, I don't want to say consistent because those 3 games, they weren't. We're going to look at Denver versus Miami. And Nick Nurse is back in the game. Is he the guy to complete the process? Glad you're with us on a not Monday. I know it feels like Monday. Not Monday. Tuesday. How's that feel? It's already Tuesday. You're like, damn. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, and DC on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the sports animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Proud of us.
Chicky Nuggets.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Chicky Nuggets. Richard says JJ's Nugs, JJ's Nugs, JJ's Nugs. Jeff, things couldn't have worked out any better. The 2 clubs beat the bleep out of each other for 7 games, while the guys at McNichols Arena have their legs up on the couch. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC. So do you buy into rest or rust? What do you think? Because I got to believe the rest was great. Now, this was almost 2 weeks, right? Was it 11 days for the Nuggets have to not play a game? I mean, you almost forgot that they were there, right? And by the way, can I ask this question real quick before we get into that, before you answer that question? Why the hell did they have hockey and basketball on the same night? There's one series going. Why couldn't they put one on each night? Like the Stars got just pummeled at home like the Celtics. If you're wearing green and in an elimination game and at home yesterday, it was a bad day. On Memorial Day, you should have been wearing red, white, or blue, I guess. But why couldn't they stagger those games on different nights?
Because you are running your league and things happen.
It's the same TV networks. Yeah. Same 2 TV networks. I don't know. Vegas and Florida, by the way. How about what's going on in Miami? Like, would it be cool to be a Miami sports fan right now? Like, honestly, you had Miami made a run to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Right? You have the Panthers are playing in the Stanley Cup final against Vegas. I said against because it was hockey. And you have the Heat in the NBA Finals against Denver. Like, you have had a hell. FAU is right up the street. FAU got to the Final Four. I don't know what's going on in Miami, but has there ever been a better time to be a Miami sports fan?
One of the best runs in recent history of a city.
And both the Panthers and the Heat came out of the 8-hole. The Panthers and the Heat were like two of the last teams to get. They were the last teams. The Panthers had to win on the last day of the season and have the Penguins lose to get into the playoffs. And now they're playing for the Stanley Cup. And they have been, by the way, again, I love the hockey. I love the hockey playoffs. I think it's unbelievable. The Panthers have been the best story if you like stories. Better than the Heat. They've been the best story, period. They're unbelievable. They beat Boston, the best team historically ever in the regular season. They rolled through Carolina. They beat Toronto after Toronto finally won a playoff series. Then they rolled through Carolina. Like, they've been unbelievable. But this has been great. All right. We'll go back to it. Rust or rest? What are you buying into?
I don't think that's going to have a dramatic effect on this series because the Miami Heat have been consistent with their effort night in and night out. Yes, they played a 7-game series, but they were, in control in the end of Game 7. So it wasn't like, oh my gosh, we exhausted everything. The dudes are going to be focused, and I don't think it plays a huge role in how the NBA Finals is going to play out. If you're in Denver, you're probably sitting there going, well, remember the last time we had a team sweep the way to their championship and had to sit there?
When was that?
And then the Rockies got blitzed by the Red Sox.
Is that the year Holiday still hasn't touched the plate?
His chin hit home plate.
He never touched home
chin
plate.
Hit home plate.
He's still
all
you got
cut up.
That's why he's still all cut up. He's still leaking. Yeah. All these years later, he's still leaking onto his bib.
Walks around. He never got it fixed, just so you know he touched home plate.
It doesn't matter if he did or didn't, because he did, is what they said. So you went on, but he never did. Go on. I'm sorry.
And it just, I trust Miami. I don't think they're going to be tired because it's the same thing. And everyone going in picking the Nuggets in the NBA Finals.
That's why I want to pick that.
And the Heat are like, okay, have fun with that. Is the way they play. They're going to throw everything at Jokic and the Nuggets from man-to-man to zone, the way they force turnovers. And as good as Jamal Murray is and has been in the postseason, like, even it worries me at times how much iso ball they play and how they can just kind of sit back and say, hey, go make a really tough shot at times, because that's the way the Miami Heat, they'll love it. They'll be like, all right, we'll play this defense. I'm going to go out there and take a bunch of bad shots. Fantastic. I am, not just because I am a Denver Nuggets fan, I love this matchup because these are two teams. When you watch the postseason, these teams, we've never questioned their effort. We haven't questioned their coaching. We haven't had a game where man, they just quit. Yeah, they've been beat, but we haven't had the feeling that they've been overmatched. They haven't been ready to play. The coaches are not connecting with the stars. And that's what I think is really interesting about where the NBA is right now. I know we had the call in the first hour going, well, where's the star power? Where's the all-time great players in the future?
Got one here.
Well, you have what people clamor for. And if they want to see selfless stars, you got that in Jimmy Butler and Jokic. You want to see effort. You want to see teams playing hard. And that's the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat.
All right, so I'm going to lean on the two of you a little bit. You're Colorado, you're a Denver guy. You're wearing your city kit today. Your coach, Michael Malone, the guy that nobody knows about. How many years have you been there? Like 8. Okay. I love the fact that they've stuck with him. They've been rewarded. Now they get to the finals. Ultimately, the reward is to hang a banner, to win a ring, to have a parade, to win a championship. We just sat here and talked about Eric Spoelstra. I'm not going to ask you to tell me that Michael Malone's a better coach than Eric Spoelstra, because I don't believe he is. I do think he's a better coach than Joe Mazzulla. All right? So when it comes down to adjustments, the stuff that coaches are going to have to do in this series, right? Players make plays. And DC, you'll hear me say this as long as you're with us. It's one of the things I say a lot, right? I when we sit and look back on games and rehash, and we always blame coaches, and the coaches' decisions are great when the player makes the play, and they're horrible when the player doesn't make the play, right? Players make plays ultimately. But when you get to this point, there are moments where coaches do something, say something, make an adjustment, don't make an adjustment. How do you guys feel about the matchup with Michael Malone and Eric Spoelstra? Because I feel relatively comfortable.
I do as well. I don't think that Michael Malone's going to be over his skis in this series, and it's one where there's been a lot of frustration in Denver because you have Nikola Jokic, and you have an all-time great player at the center position. Like, if you don't think he is, just look at the numbers and what he has done. And it's also because you look at what Jokic has done the years without Murray, that team is still winning games. They're competitive. They're not in Western Conference Finals, but last year they were running out a lineup against the eventual NBA champions that featured like Will Barton and Monty Morris in the starting lineup, and they were still competitive in that series. And so it's kind of been a bubbling frustration that they haven't gotten over the hump with Jokic once he finally clicks, because Jokic is like in his 8th or 9th season as well. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not a spring chicken at this point, but it's patience. They let the roster develop. They let the players get healthy. Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and this is what they were hoping for.
How do you feel about it?
It's interesting. I think Spoelstra knows this game so well, and not that Malone doesn't. I just think some of the defensive matchups that Spoelstra sets up might, in
like
the
the
chess,
zone.
Right. It's one of those things that I think in the chess match, I do give the Heat the advantage. They've been there. They've been making moves to fill in some of these holes that it's been very impressive. You're an 8 seed beating a 1 seed, beating a 2 seed, beating a 5 seed. Like, that guy knows what he's doing. I will give you a hot take. I thought that if the Nuggets didn't make the finals, I kind of thought they might be interviewing for a coach. So
yeah, we had that conversation. Would this be the time to blow it up? Because this is the ultimate goal, right? They rode the process out. They needed to see fruits of their labor, and they're seeing it now. And so I agree with you on Spoelstra's been there, right? And so he gets it like as good as if you say, when you go down the checklist, big guy, check, okay, Jokic, grit, whatever. Coaching, it goes to Spoelstra. Now, that doesn't mean that Michael Malone's a bum, right? When you say, I think Michael's better than LeBron, that doesn't mean LeBron's horrible, right? It's interesting, though. Spoelstra has been here, right? This is the Nuggets' first run at this. Now, it's the Heat as a group. Their second run, they were there in the bubble, right? Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Now, is it the same? I don't know. I mean, it is as far as pressure, but not surroundings. You know what I mean?
I think for Miami, I really like this matchup for them just defensively because of the athleticism of Bam Adebayo guarding Jokic. I actually think that's as opposed to Anthony Davis kind of along, he wants to play free safety. He doesn't necessarily want to go one-on-one with you. I think it's actually a better matchup for Miami and Bam because of what he can do defensively, stay down, stay in front of Jokic, because Jokic is sneaky because he'll lull you to sleep, and then all of a sudden he'll turn the corner and be at the basket.
So will they go to as much zone, do you think? Because when they go to a zone, can you sneak Jokic out? Can you find a way behind the zone, right? Penetrate, find a way behind him, or do you think because of that matchup they stay more man?
It's few and far between for the Heat when they do go zone, but
when they did, they were super effective.
They're going to use it.
I promise. Yeah. No, they were super effective in the Boston series. Going into
it's similar to the Nuggets. Still, when you look at Jokic, Murray and Porter, they want to get their shots up. They're going to shoot their threes.
I think it's time. I think this is a progression for the Nuggets. I think they've been building and building and building, and this is I just like their roster. Now, if Tyler Hero comes back and hits some shots, I think that opens up a whole new dimension for Miami. I think it does. And watching these other guys get better. I mean, Gabe Vincent, you know where he went to school?
Gauchos, right?
He's a Gaucho. UC Santa Barbara. Caleb Martin, Nevada. What was the guy?
Well, 3 of the players actually started at D2 schools before they went D1. It was Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, and I'm blanking on the other one.
Duncan Robinson went to Michigan ultimately, but you're right. And then Highsmith went to Wheeling Jesuit in Wheeling, West Virginia. And Strus, I think, was the other one, wasn't he? Strus ended up at DePaul, but did he?
Yeah, I believe he started D2.
I mean, like, honestly, you couldn't have named me, and I say you, I mean, the common sports fan. Could you have named me 3 Miami Heat before the playoffs started? You just said Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Lowry. Hero? Yeah, you didn't own Hero. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith. That's who it is. All right, we're going to change gears a little bit when we come back. I want to hit some of the local stuff. You guys are sending a bunch of stuff on, well, we got a lot. I mean, you're hitting me on Live Golf. You're hitting me on Isotope stuff. So I'll get all that stuff. But I want to hit the NFL stuff because you've got a gigantic free agent. Like, I think a game-changing free agent now on the market who was just released, and the team took a $22 million salary cap hit. Where does he go, and what kind of impact? Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
Who's in the market for an all-pro stud wide receiver in the National Football League? I am. You are. What's up? It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us. It is a Tuesday. It feels like a Monday. Jeff, JJ, DC. So the Arizona Cardinals released wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. Released him. Hall of Fame wide receiver. Didn't want to be there. He had a team-high $30.7 million cap hit. By releasing him, they only save $8.15, but they don't have him. I guess teams called JJ, and nobody wanted to pay the price, and they called the Cardinals bluff, and the Cardinals have to gobble, eat, choke on $22 million in dead cap space this year, a year that they may be the worst team in the NFL.
Redshirt season in Arizona, first year coach, first year problems, and they're taking a long approach on this, and it's the right thing to do right now. Try to get Kyler Murray back, yes, because you need to make a run with Kyler Murray after this season.
All right, so why is releasing this guy the right thing? Because I just he don't want to be there. He's making whatever he's making. Like you're a pro, play football. You got to. I don't know that I'd have just released him. I got an all-pro receiver to help get Kyler Murray straight. Tell me how they're better without him.
They're not better without him. But that money off the books going into next year,
yeah,
it's gonna start building a team.
So, yeah, I would have really tried to find a way to work this thing out. He's dropped 3 passes and 315 targets in the last 3 years. The lowest drop rate basically in the NFL, right? Him and Terry McLaurin, who I wouldn't have thought that, and Tyler Boyd. 3 seasons in Arizona, 17 touchdowns, 221 receptions. I have tried to find a way to make this thing work out. So where does he go now?
So I think it doesn't matter this year. He's going to be catching passes from Colt McCoy.
So is Kyler Murray out for the year?
And he's not out for the year, but I don't think we'll see a lot of him.
Well,
I really don't. I think you want to play it safe. You don't want, because Kyler Murray, a part of his game is you want his athleticism. And he's got to be able to make plays out of the pocket. And I don't think week 1 we'll see the best of Kyler Murray.
No, I don't think.
And so that's why I would want to play the long game if I'm Arizona. And it hasn't been good. It's been frustrating. There's a ton of questions now with Kyler Murray. And I think that's why you're seeing Arizona and go, okay, probably not going to get the value out of Nuke Hopkins that we would this year. He's a 30-year-old wide receiver, still really good, but is he really good for Arizona right now? No.
All right, so where? Everybody says Kansas City because, well, Kansas City just keeps finding ways to find money to be better. And Buffalo makes sense. So Buffalo's one that kind of makes sense. I don't know what kind of cap room everybody's got. Dallas makes sense to me, to be honest with you. Where do you see it? He's going to go to a contender, right? Because now he gets to choose.
Well, that's the thing. Is he set enough where he'll take a small deal to join one of these teams? Or there's not a lot of wiggle room in Buffalo, in Kansas City.
Who's got room?
And it feels like, from all the reports, those two teams are kind of bidding against each other because they don't want the other to have DeAndre Hopkins.
All right, let me give you a couple spots that aren't there. That all of a sudden you go, Detroit.
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and him. Jamison Williams is suspended for 6 games. Jared Goff is coming off a really good season. Everybody loves Detroit as the up-and-coming team this year. New Orleans. Michael Thomas, back end. They got Olave. They just brought in Derek Carr. That division is wide freaking open. Okay, I love New Orleans for him. Right? Jacksonville. Who's their best receiver? They signed Christian, who was the guy for the Cardinals?
Well, they have Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, but Calvin Ridley's there too. How about that? Would that be a threesome? To go with Trevor Lawrence there in an absolutely winnable division in the AFC South? Like I'm just going off. Like, where would he fit that to a team that's not the obvious two that contends? Right? Who's Cleveland's best receiver? I mean, I know we sit here and everybody kind of laughs at the Cleveland story, but they have Deshaun Watson. Right? They spent $250 million on Deshaun Watson. Now he's got a full year. The noise has kind of quieted it. I don't know that it's ever going to silence. Now he could maybe play football. Who's their best receiver?
Amari Cooper.
Okay, how about Amari Cooper and him?
Pretty good.
Right?
Yeah, he has the pick of the litter at this point in time. Especially if he doesn't have huge salary demands, like if he's willing to go, I'm just want to go play somewhere and win a lot of football games, he can go wherever he wants.
Well, I just wonder where the money is available. I don't have a list of who's got how much. I don't know even where to find that. So, what's available? I would see the Jets make a run at him too. I could totally see the Jets. I mean, the Jets are going all in, and the Jets need to go all in for the next 2 years because then they're all out. I mean, this is literally it's a 2-year window for the Jets to go all in. I look at places that, I mean, I would even say the Giants. If you believe in Daniel Jones, I don't know that he does.
And for teams, this is the perfect scenario because you're not out here having to give Nuke Hopkins like a 5-year deal worth bleep ton of money. It's kind of short-term window. I think Nuke, maybe even he would be cool playing on a 1-year deal, then hit free agency again because he's consistent. You look at last year, didn't have to play full season because he was suspended the first 6 games. You still figure, he's going to be fresh, he's going to be good, going to be impactful.
All right. This is nuts to me. The favorite, according to one offshore betting site, to be the next quarterback to start a game for the Las Vegas Raiders is Tom Brady. 2-1 or plus 200, according to one offshore book. That means you're like, wait a minute. They got Jim Garoppolo and they got Brian Hoyer, and Tom Brady's retired. According to this one book, because of this whole story that came out the other day in regards to the Raiders have a injury clause in the contract for Jim Garoppolo, and Jim Garoppolo evidently isn't healing as quickly or whatever. There's no way, right? And every time you say there's no way, there's a way. The next quarterback to start a game for the Las Vegas Raiders will be who?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think so too. It's kind of crazy.
And again, it goes to what were the Raiders doing this offseason?
Well,
like what was
all set
their
around
plan? Like it's Derek Carr. We need to move on. The time has come, and so you sign a quarterback, which you have to give a waiver to because he needs foot surgery.
Mm-hmm.
They can't pass a physical, and it's not a quarterback that's an upgrade from Derek Carr. In a lot of people's opinion, it could be a step
in nobody's
back.
opinion, is it an upgrade?
It's at best, it's a push
Yes.
with who the Raiders are currently bringing Jimmy Garoppolo in, and now you're sitting here learning about the waiver, and they could get out of it if he doesn't pass the physical, which is great for the Raiders. But then you're still like, what were you doing?
All right, so if you're not familiar with the waiver that we're talking about, when Jimmy Garoppolo signed with the Raiders in March, he technically failed his physical. He had that injured left foot that JJ's been telling you about. So the Raiders gave him an injury waiver. They signed him anyway. So after adding this waiver, the two sides added an addendum to the contract. It's a 3-year, $72 million deal, but according to Pro Football Talk, Garoppolo was supposed to get 11.25 signing bonus and then 11.25 base salary. But now the signing bonus is gone. So they redid this, and he'll get 22.5 as his base salary, but the new structure of the contract means that the Raiders haven't paid Garoppolo a nickel. And they may not have to pay him anything because they're allowed to cut him at zero cost to them unless he passes his physical. And once he passes his physical, he will still need to play in at least one game without re-injuring that same foot before the rest of his money becomes guaranteed. So he has to play in a game. And what I don't know what that means if he's a backup quarterback to Brian Hoyer. Let's say Brian Hoyer beats him. If he suits up and doesn't play, does he not get paid? I don't know how that works. So what it means is they dumped Derek Carr to replace Derek Carr, as JJ just said, with an injured quarterback who may never play for them. He underwent surgery in March. Originally injured the foot while playing for the Niners in Week 15. 6 months later, it's still an issue. That's what they did. I'll go back to what you just asked. What the hell were the Raiders doing all offseason with quarterbacks? Quarterbacks were flying around everywhere. Everywhere. What'd they do? They didn't move up to draft for one. They didn't draft one. When one fell to them. They didn't get a free agent quarterback. Well, they did in Jimmy Garoppolo. They got an injured one. And they got rid of the guy who's been the face of their franchise for the last decade. It was pretty good. How you feeling, Raider fan?
Other than that,
how about them? Oh, that's a different team. Just win, baby. Just win. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
All right, DC pulled up salary cap availability for all the teams. We're talking like where should DeAndre Hopkins go? Who's got availability? It's funny that we're sitting here talking about the Bills and the Chiefs in regards to them being in a bidding war. What are they bidding with? Both of them are upside down the salary cap. They're like second to last and third to last in regards to available cap space. They have none.
They're bidding with a quarterback. And part of the conversation with Arizona, which I can understand why they would do this deal, is Hopkins was getting a little salty with Kyler Murray.
Yep.
And calling him out and questioning how does he handle himself. And he's doing interviews this offseason while he's under contract with Arizona going, oh, these are the quarterbacks that love to play for. Oh, yeah, we'd all love a Mercedes-Benz or BMW, of course. And so I get why Arizona might come to a point where, all right, we can't work out a trade because teams aren't taking on that cap number right now.
One or the other.
But you don't want to be here. You don't want to be a part of the process moving forward. All right.
Yeah,
we'll take the hit.
All right, so DC pulled this up. The top 4 teams in cap space available right now, and it's crazy how much dead money there is. Like the Panthers have $51 million in dead cap space. But are the Bears, the Panthers, the Cardinals, and the Lions? Bears and Lions, and I know you guys think the Colts, but Colts and Panthers both have rookie quarterbacks, and I don't think he's going to go play with a rookie quarterback. But would he play with Justin Fields or Jared Goff? I mean, it just feels like I'm the Lions, and I got $23 million in cap space, okay? I got $23 million in cap space. I'm the Lions. Like, I'm on the phone yesterday making a run at 3 days ago, making a run at like, and same with the Bears. Now, I know the Bears went in and they got DJ Moore, they got Mooney, they got Claypool. None of them are this guy, right? I'm the Lions. I put you with Amon-Ra St. Brown and that dynamic offense we've got. Like honestly, if I'm him, I look at the Lions and go, it's kind of, I mean, I don't know what I think about Detroit, but I'm going. Saints have $14 million in cap space. Eagles have $13 million in cap space. Eagles.
Yeah, this is a pretty good spot for Nuke Hopkins to be in because he could take a deal for the most money, like one of the teams we're talking about with the most cap space. Or he could just take a veteran minimum and go, you know what? I'll line up and catch passes from Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes next season because why the heck not?
Lenny, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Lenny.
Good. How you doing? Well, I still don't understand what Arizona's doing. So I think Arizona's already just mailed it in for next season.
Yes.
They're just playing for the number 1 pick next year and a new quarterback.
I think that's got to be right.
I mean, who's going to be throwing to the receivers?
Colt McCoy.
Yeah. So it's they just mailed it in. I never seen a team tank that early in the season. So
buy season tickets. Season tickets are on sale now. Call 1-800-CARDINALS.
Yeah, it's a fire sale. I mean, they're right up there now with the Oakland A's for tickets.
That's so brutal. The A's are one of the worst. Yeah, that's a whole other story. Go on.
Yeah, so Hopkins is not going to play for the minimum, even though, if he wants to, he can. But because of the 6 games and the money he lost last season, he wants to get paid.
I think they all want to
he's
get
in the driver's
paid.
seat.
Yeah, and I think there's enough good opportunities out there with teams with money. JJ, to your point, I think there's enough out there that have an opportunity to win that can pay him.
Well, I mean, I'm not being a homer, but I'll use the Jets as an example. They went all in on Rodgers. They're going to have to. They gave up a number 1 this year, and they're going to have to give up a number 1 next year.
Yeah.
And a pick swap. They can cut Corey Davis and Denzel Mims, and right there will give them about $13-14 million.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to guess everybody's getting in on it.
Right. I mean, so right now for him, I understand Detroit's a good fit too, and didn't they get the running back from the Eagles?
Sanders, no, but they drafted they got Miles Sanders?
No.
Yeah, they got Miles Sanders and they traded their other running back.
They drafted a running back.
Gibbs.
They drafted a running back.
No, they traded Miles Sanders too. They got Miles Sanders as well as a free agency.
He went to Carolina.
Yeah, they got rid of DeAndre Swift and they drafted a running back number 12 overall.
That's right. I'm sorry, but so there's going to be plenty of teams, but he doesn't have to rush. He's in the driver's seat.
That's right. 100%.
He's the best receiver to hit the market. And he's not going to get Beckham money, but he's still better than Beckham.
That's interesting too. Is that his litmus, right? Is that his standard? Is that
Well, I
gonna
mean,
be his
Beckham's getting $18 million, which was an overpay.
And I just don't see where he's getting that. And he's way better.
He's not going to get it. He's going to get between 13 and 15 million. Now, if someone gives him a 3-year, $45 million deal with 30 guaranteed,
yeah,
that wouldn't be a bad deal.
Yeah. All right, man.
But I just feel bad for the Cardinals fans. I mean, I don't know what you're playing for.
Yeah, you're buying season tickets and I don't know. All right, Lenny, good to hear you. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
I mean, how do you sell season tickets?
You're buying season tickets to sell to the opponents.
I guess that's right. Hey, Rams fans. Oh, wait, your team stinks too. Niner fans, you're coming to town on this date. And Raider fans, you're coming to town. And Seahawk fans, Dan, go buy tickets. It's brutal. So I guess I'm a little out on the Kyler Murray thing. Is he out for? I mean, are they giving up on Kyler Murray? Are they tanking to get Caleb Williams out of USC?
That changes the conversation.
Caleb Williams does?
If you end up having the number 1 overall pick, and then I think it's a real conversation.
They're vested. They've given him all that big deal. I know.
It doesn't. You don't. Here's the thing: you don't want to ride something out if you don't believe it. Even if you paid Kyler Murray, if you think hey, Caleb Williams, he's bigger, better quarterback.
Caleb Williams is going to be good.
You take him and move on.
Caleb,
but the thing too with Arizona is, I'm playing it smart regardless with Kyler Murray. Like I'm because if I have to have him as my quarterback, I still want him 100%. Not trying to rush him out there week 1 with a team that is in total rebuild mode.
Text line, I think he goes somewhere in the AFC East, Buffalo or New England, or likely to Jets, maybe to Miami. Well, that would be the whole AFC East. I mean, is there anybody else in the AFC? I mean, that's the whole thing. So Buffalo doesn't have a lot of cap space. New England was down the list quite a ways. The Jets were in the middle. Miami, I mean, I maybe. Detroit feels so right to me.
And if I'm Nuke Hopkins,
I'm going wherever I want.
I'm not worried about is you're gonna get your money.
Yep.
Like if I take a 1-year deal for not a lot of money, well, guess what? Nuke Hopkins made $112 million in his career.
He's all right.
And if he performs even at going into the following year, being 32 years old,
he's all right.
Someone will give him a nice chunk of guaranteed money. I am absolutely taking this moment in my career and looking down the list and going, all right, who can I play in a Super Bowl with this season? And then if that doesn't really come to fruition, then you can go, all right, who's giving me the most money over the next few years?
Yeah, he's not at the end where he's just got to he's got to take the money. No, I agree with that. There's a lot left in this Hall of Fame receiver. He can go wherever he wants. I think that's right. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go through what happened locally and some of the stuff you're talking about on the correspondence. There was 2 golf tournaments this weekend, 2 winners, 2 interesting. Anybody watch Live? Did you know Live was going on? I guess they didn't get to see the final locally. I'll tell you what that text is. And, break down on your conversation and everything that happened local. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Yeah, Omar, I got it. Said the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys being on DeAndre Hopkins, damn right. This is right up Jerry's alley, isn't it? You throw everything you can at DeAndre Hopkins. It's right up his alley. And by the way, that would make that offense really formidable. I mean, you put DeAndre Hopkins on the Cowboys? Think about it. Could have happened. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC. Glad you're with us on a Tuesday, not Monday. I know it feels like Monday. It is a Tuesday on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal. All right, locally over the weekend, Isotopes blew a big lead on, was it the last game? It was Saturday. Blew a big lead and split their series. They're on their way to Salt Lake City, and they'll start 6-game set tonight. You'll hear those games here on the Sports Animal. Got a lot of stuff on them. This one says from Gene, Albuquerque's AAA franchise is finished, Jeff. A mediocre homestand followed by 18 of the next 24 on the road means you're now playing for the second half of the season. When does Pedro Lopez start trying to save some of his team so they can be fresh when the second 75 start? JJ, when does he start resting his players?
Well, they should have just rested him the entire first half of the season because they're playing too much baseball.
That's a good point. They play almost
and the fact that they played the entire first half of the season, they're not going to be ready to play the second half of the season.
Yeah, they play almost every. That's a good point. Gus says the most valuable position in sports isn't a quarterback. It's having a closer in baseball, Jeffy. We saw it against Sunday. That's right. With the boos at the normally friendly confines when the baseball team blew another. When you don't have a closer, you have to try to manufacture outs late in a game or close by committee. Neither usually ends with a favorable result. They were within one strike and then gave up 5 runs. Rod says, boy, I sure don't get this, Jefferson. Yesterday, all the talking heads were telling me it's the unofficial start of summer, yet the stadium is quiet. Should the boys of summer be in action on the first day of summer? It's a good point. It is a good point, but that league takes Mondays off. That league doesn't play on Monday. It's just kind of, that's the way it is, man. You want me to tell you? New Mexico United on the road. They were in San Antonio, or is that San Antonio? They played the defending champs, got beat 2-1. JJ, they are 4-4-2. Their streak of not having lost, or unbeaten streak, as they like to say, came to an end 2-1. I thought San Antonio dominated the first half, certainly, and then I thought the back end of play as well. United came out, got a goal, got to within 1, but I never felt like they were threatening. In fact, I felt that San Antonio was buzzing the whole second half and thought they'd put 1 or 2 more in. 2-1, they end up with the result. On the bad side, 4-4-2 is the numbers they come home for a game on Saturday.
Go on the road against a better team, get off to a slow start. It's going to happen.
Are they? I don't know what to make. I watch most of the matches, and I watch most of the matches. I watch the whole thing. And every game, Zach Prince says, we were just a mistake away or just this away. Are they that close when they lose? Like they came out and they put up a couple good results in a row. They stole the point in Rio Grande Valley, scored the 2 points in extra time, in added time, down there a couple of Saturdays ago. Are they that close, or is this kind of what they are? They're like a 7th, 8th playoff team out of 8.
They're a mid-table team with championship support. That's who they are right now.
And the support being, yeah, that's fair. All right, we're going to reset you with the hoops at the top. The Heat beat the Celtics 103-840. That's the top of our next hour, which will be 9 o'clock, which will be in 6 minutes. Heat 103, Celtics 84. So now we've got a final set in the National Basketball Association. More about the Heat, more about the Celtics yesterday. What did you learn more? More about the Heat? Did you learn more about the Celtics? And do you give the Heat a chance, an advantage? How do you like them going into Denver for game 1 on Thursday? We're going into the NBA Finals, which actually should be really, really fun. That's next as we go into hour number 3 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Bach.
It's off the Smart for the 7th game. Commanded tipped in, but the buzzer sounded. The light was on. It'll be reviewed.
I don't think he got that in time. Great effort by Derek White.
And didn't I say you have?
Oh, they're saying on the floor, they're counting it.
You have to protect the offensive rebounding.
Oh, he got rid of it. That's a
did.
Celtic win, and we're going to Game 7.
The Celtics are going to win. There's a Game 7 back in Boston.
Rolling on the floor is good basket. The play's under review.
White.
That's how you spent your Saturday night, isn't it? White! We're going back to Boston! There's going to be a Game 7! Kevin Hart. TNT crew. That's how you spent your Saturday, right? And maybe you believed, like everybody, or almost, as I told you yesterday, and told you throughout, almost everybody that, well, that was it. Game 7. It's in Boston. It's Memorial Day. It's the Celtics are going to win. Almost everybody. The guys in the Miami locker room didn't. They were so good afterwards. They've got something intangible, and they were so good during. Miami ran them out of their own building. Now, yes, Jason Tatum, their star, got hurt on the first play of the game. Kind of crazy. Came down on an ankle. He was certainly affected. Affected to the point of a 19-point blowout. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on a Tuesday, Jeff, JJ, and DC. The Jason Tatum injury certainly affects the game. I have no idea if they win with him or without him. It's a closer game. All I know is Miami had heart, they had heat, and they blew him out of their own belt.
It should not affect the game to the point where the Boston Celtics can only score 84 points, where they go 9 of 42 from 3, because you have another player on the floor that's staring a Supermax contract in the face over the next year or two, and that's Jaylen Brown. Now, I credit Jaylen Brown because he took ownership of it. And post-game, he said, I failed. Because with more responsibility on him, or more usage rate with the ball in his hands, he turned it over 8 times and shot 8 of 23 from the field. Like, that Celtics team, was it the message from the coach? Was it something that just this group didn't have the edge that they had last year? Because, yes, they got to a Game 7. They responded. But the highs and lows for the Celtics were insane. To be able to come back, force the Game 7, and then not show up and respond. You had 15 points in the first quarter, but we know with the Boston Celtics, if they don't hit shots, it changes the rest of what they do. They don't play as hard defensively. You don't see that grit, that grind from the Celtics. And so when they went 0 for 10 from 3 in the first quarter, that set the tone for the game.
Highs and lows for both teams were insane. I don't know how you get any lower than losing the way you lost in Game 6 if you're Miami.
But you never question them the way we did this.
No, 100%. I compared, if you weren't with us earlier, I compared the way the Heat lose in Game 6 to the way the Seahawks lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl in the Malcolm Butler play. How do you respond from that? Dan said, he's a Seahawks fan, you just had to open that wound again, didn't you? I said, yes, I did. By the way, he made $5 on the game. Only one going with Miami. Should have bet more, you think? Yes, you should have bet more. The highs and lows were insane. That's what made this unbelievable. That's what makes this historic to me. For only the second time, we were talking about the first time ever that a team would come back from a 3-0 deficit in a series in the NBA to win a series. It's only the second time ever an 8 seed has reached the final in the NBA. Finals. Basketball calls their finals. Hockey is the final singular. Just for point of whatever. Not that it matters. It is historic in its own right. But for them to respond from the way they lost and the world screaming that it's over, that it was a must win, that they had to win, and they come back from 10 down and they rally back in their own place, and Jimmy Butler hits the 3 free throws. And by the way, remember when they put there was a 2.1 and they put the extra few seconds or extra 9/10 of a second on there? Does that matter? It did. You said something about the way Boston was shooting. Did you see halftime at all, or did you flip over to hockey? Did you watch Charles Barkley at halftime?
What did he say?
So he was asked some question by Ernie Johnson. He says, Ernie, I got to tell you this. And Ernie says, of course you do. He says, the way they shooting the ball, why are they continuing to shoot? What the hell are they doing, right? I mean, they were 1 for whatever, 2 for whatever, shooting threes. Jeff Van Gundy during the game says, I don't make predictions, but I'll say this. If they don't make any threes, they're going to lose the game, right? The way they were shooting threes, to your point. Now, is that because Tatum was out? You know, it was because of the zone. There was a moment where they put Tatum in the middle of the zone, right? Their zone offense. Got him the ball at the free throw line, let him turn, either get a short range game or be able to dish. And then they stopped and put Horford back in the middle. Like, wow. If he's immobile, that's kind of where I want him.
For him to be.
Right. It's a perfect spot for him to be. That's where I want him. David, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, David.
A couple of questions. Ultimately, how different X's and O's basketball-wise is Game 3 that the Celtics lost miserably in Game 7? And ultimately, are people now trying to create the narrative for the upcoming schedule to then downplay the Celtics, to then upplay the Heat, to then boost the rating?
I don't know whether I understand your second question.
The second question is, everybody expected Lakers Celtics, and then ultimately said, oh, Nuggets Heat would be horrible. And now that ultimately the ratings are low, I think they're trying to change the narrative by saying how good the Nuggets, or not the Heat are, because they're downplaying how bad the Celtics were.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, whoever, depending on who they are, they'll I imagine, they're going to try to promote that. As far as the X's and O's in Game 3 to Game 7, I don't know that I think they were that similar. I think, first of all, I think Miami used way more zone defense. And X's and O's wise, I don't know if they were any better, JJ, defensively. I just thought Boston shot poorly. And David, thanks for the call. I thought they shot horribly. Were the X's and O's that similar in those two games? I don't think so.
It's good to know, but the NBA did send us the memo to where we have to boost the ratings for the finals. Right on point with that one. No, it's just, it's just I don't know what it is about this Boston team that the highs and lows are so dramatically different for them. Because even when the Heat went through their lows, we weren't sitting there going, oh, the coach doesn't have the locker room, or there's no effort there, or they quit on them. But those are the things we said when we watched the Celtics play. And it was everyone. It was the TNT crew. It was coming out of Charles Barkley's mouth and Shaq going, well, why'd you guys quit in the second half? And so you had that surrounding the Celtics team because they are talented. They were the most talented team of the Final Four. Mm-hmm. If they just couldn't figure out how to be a team.
I'll tell you why. A, what you just said, they were more talented. So why are they getting run? Okay, when they got beat 3 in a row and got beat convincingly, like that game, which was it? Game 2, Game 3, which was the one they just got freaking run. Okay, Game 3, and you're looking. It did look like they quit. Body language, like when the Heat got beat decisively, did it ever look to you like they quit?
No.
That's why. Body language. The favorites, the overwhelming favorite. Remember this is where I lost absolutely all respect for that ESPN predictability, whatever, right? 3% chance of winning? Like, I don't know if it's a human that deciphers that or if it's a computer, whatever.
It's a computer.
But when it came out, that was, with all due respect to my other employer, and that was the biggest crock of crap ever. 3%? Come on. Like you're gonna. If you want to tell me 10, I think that's crazy. But we're talking about a professional basketball team that was in the finals 2 years ago. In a 7-game series, you tell me 3%? Stop it. Now, if they were down 3-0 to the Celtics, and you say 3% or less than that, oh, okay. I think that was one of the most insulting, insane stats I've ever seen. But, JJ, why do people think one team quit and the other didn't? A, one head coach seems completely in charge and seems to have complete respect of his room. The other is a first-year guy that was thrown in the fire that doesn't feel that way. 2, body language. One team looked like they were done, the other never did. And 3, one team was the 1 seed with 97% predictability to win. And they were the ones failing and almost got swept. The other one wasn't. Now, look, I'm not ready to just completely throw it in on Joe Mazzulla. Like, the first time you do anything, right? DC, your first show was probably not as good as today's show, right? Mine wasn't either. Not that today's any good for me, but you guys are really good, right? I played my first match play golf tournament this week. I wasn't very good. I'd like to believe I'll be better next time, right? I mean, Eric Spoelstra's been there for a while, so I expected Eric Spoelstra to outcoach Joe Mazzulla, and he did. Now, the guy that outcoached the other guy, the guy with 3% chance to win, did a hell of a job. Oh, by the way, so did his players. But I don't know. When you ask why do we get so down? Why do we think one guy quit? I don't know. Do you think Joe Mazzulla survives this?
Yes,
I do too. And I said earlier, I think he's just got to. I don't know if he's. I'd like to believe he's a better communicator with his team than he is with the media. We always look back at the guys who are we think of great coaches. Now, Pop over the years, Greg Popovich was, when he was winning, he was funny with the media. He was a jerk, but he was funny. Does that make sense? Right? Phil Jackson was always there. He always gave you something. Who else am I forgetting in here? Is there anybody in the modern day?
Steve Kerr. Yeah, Steve Kerr is open, and I don't know, it's a part of the process. To me, when you're a coach and you can sit there and say, well, I don't owe you anything, but it's a part of the giant machine.
It's just part of
like
what you're doing.
It's storytelling, it's getting stuff out there, it's telling your side of the story. It's if you want people to talk better or perceive things the way that they should be perceived, then you need to tell us about it. You need to tell us, hey, this narrative out there of all you think this is what happened on this. Well, no, this is what we were trying to do, and the other team blew it up. Like there's like this press conference, the player availability, like this stuff matters in the grand scheme of things, even if you don't think it does, because this machine, sports, fandom, everything that goes in it, you got to give us some nuggets so we can learn about things. We can learn about you, what you're doing, because if you don't, then people are just going to go over the top on what they think they know about you, Joe Mazzulla.
Here's the other part. Your players see that. Your players see it. And part of the communication isn't just what you say in the room. It's part of what you say publicly. The players hear what you say publicly. The bite you're taking, JJ, you're so right. Joe, what was the difference between Game 6 and Game 7? We shot 21% from three-point line. Well, yeah, and you shot 20% last game. So that actually isn't anything different. You're not above having to answer a question. You're honestly not. And my deal with him is, guys who are jerks, do your thing, I imagine. And does that make him a jerk? Does he owe you anything? He kind of does owe his fans something. He does. He kind of does. As the head coach of the Boston Celtics, he kind of does owe the people who support that club a post-game press conference. He does. And nothing was different. His one-word answers, his think, that when it comes across, you guys tell me this. It comes across as, I'm smarter than you. You don't deserve my time. I'm wasting my time. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I mean, is it not Marshawn Lynch to you? What do you guys hear when you hear Joe Mazzulla? And again, he might be a great guy. He's 34 years old, first year doing this. But what do you hear?
I hear a guy that's not a great leader, not a great manager.
Okay. And that's what I hear too, even if he is. What do you hear?
That's the insight we are getting. And when we do not see a track record, like this is a first-year coach that wasn't expecting to be here.
No, he got to the final. He did get to the conference final.
So I don't think it's been as bad as he needs to be fired, because okay, you can throw Monty Williams out there, but not bringing Doc Rivers back. Like, what experienced guy is going to be the ultimate savior right now for the Boston Celtics? I don't think it's to that level. But when you don't have a track record, the other guys we talk about, they've won a ton of games, they've won championships, and see the track record. And when you don't see that, and this is just the only thing we get of Joe Mazzulla, he's definitely consistent about it, but
here's the deal.
It makes you feel a certain way.
I'd be pissed too. Like, the last thing I'd want to do is go talk to you guys, right? My season just ended like that. I just got my ass kicked. We were the number one seed.
Everyone has to do it.
I know, and to your point, that is part of the job. That's why you get paid all that money. Part of the job is dealing with the media. It is, and I don't owe you guys anything. You kind of do owe it to your fans. You kind of do. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
The Texans. I love what it represents. Nick Caserio.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sweet deals online, by the way. Got a sweet deal today. Take a look at it. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's Takumi. Did you eat a Takumi? Remember they were in last time and they gave us a gift card? Did you use that yet? It was good, dude. It's Takumi, first Japanese barbecue in New Mexico. You're your own chef while you interact with your family. Enjoy many different styles with dining experience. Go to our website, sportsanimalbq.com now. Click on the sweet deal icon, and for $25, you get $50 worth of Takumi. It's right there in Uptown, and it is delicious. Come with your family, your friends. You can enjoy 5 different styles of eating. Do-it-yourself barbecue. Order from the kitchen, sushi, tap and grill, or let the chef cook right there in front of you. It's great for group gatherings or even birthday parties, and you can sit at the bar and just enjoy a beverage or two. Go see them today. It's Takumi, and take advantage of our sweet deal that's up there for you right now. Most improvement between first and second hoe. I'm expecting a much better hoe effort from the new guy this week, says Gopher. I know you've been working on that. Yeah. You know, again, your first one is, you get better after the second one. Glenn says, don't know what you got till it's gone, Jeff. It's a shame it took a move to Nebraska for folks to appreciate what we had. It's just a case of being almost 20 years since Little Al retired. There's an entire generation now that's never going to see him play. And when you talk about the old man and Uncle Bobby, it's like talking about Will Chamberlain. There isn't a lot of video rounds from Glenn. It is a shame. It is a shame the Unser Museum is closed up and they're moving it to Lincoln, or to Omaha, Nebraska. It is a shame because that was one of our jewels. And I think it stinks. Gopher said, Unser Museum equals Lobo football, Jeff. I talked to folks that said they always wanted to go, but it was so hard to get to. Sound familiar? It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too late, etc. Kind of does. Really wasn't that hard to get to. It's right there on Montano.
Nope.
It's really easy to get to. Yeah, that sucks. Telus is in on golf this weekend. Jeff, unless Jack... JJ, if Jack Nicholson, if Jack Nicklaus isn't playing, I'm not watching. If Jack, Phil, or the Big Cat aren't high on the leaderboard, golf is a sport that casual fringe fans don't follow individual players. They've been trained to only care about the majors. That's why I don't think another league is going to make an impact or even survive. No one cares who wins the Arlington Invite. Emiliano Grillo. Did you watch any of the golf this weekend, by the way? He had a 2-stroke lead on the 72nd hole, hit it in the water, took double bogey, won in a playoff. Now, Lobo Hobo said he wanted to watch Live. He said, I'm living it up, Jeff. I was relaxing with golf Saturday. Did this really happen? When at 4 o'clock, flippin' Blackish comes on, and there's a thingy at the bottom of the screen. Exciting Live continues on the app. WTH, question mark? I can't believe ratings are better for reruns of Blackish than live golf. Lobo Hobo.
Believe it. They probably are.
I don't know if that happened. I'm not sure it did. So CW cut out of the end of the golf tournament, which, by the way, Harold Varner was your winner on Live this weekend. It was in D.C. at Trump's course. Harold Varner won. They cut out at the end of a golf tournament. If the CW is going to get into sports, like, can you imagine the Pac-12 and that happens? Michigan and SC live on the CW, or I guess that wouldn't be the Pac-12 anymore. I'm sorry. Oregon and who's left? Arizona State. And 2 minutes ago, oh, what a great game! Back, you can watch it live on the app. Blackish is on. Wow. All right. DCU gave this to me, viewership for last year's finals. So you talked about the last caller was talking about the NBA finals and how they were down and how the ratings are down, the ratings are down, the ratings are down. JJ, DC just pulled a refresher for us. Last year's NBA finals, who played in the NBA finals last year? Was that who the hell won last year? I don't even remember.
Golden State and Boston.
Golden State and Boston. Actually, okay, so you had two big markets. You had star power. You had Steph Curry. They were up 22%. The game 6 clincher was almost 14 million viewers, peaking at 16.9, almost 17. It was the highest share in 5 years for NBA Finals, with 1 in 5 TV viewers. So one of the five people who are tuned in or watching that game. Now, DC, you and I were just having this conversation. JJ, you and I have had this in a different form over the years. I do believe that the ratings will be down a little this year. And people go, oh, nobody's watching. No, stop. Okay, you don't have two major markets. You don't have a star that resonates to the Northeast, right? You just don't. Jimmy Butler might. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray don't. So let's say they're down. Let's just say they're down 16%. And people start yelling. I tell you all the time, that doesn't mean it's bad. They'll still be the most watched thing on television, right? They'll still be trending, down. You can't set new highs every year. So when a company says, oh, our earnings are down 2.6%. Oh, my goodness. No, we didn't lose 2.6% of our profits. We didn't lose $2 billion. If we made $1 billion last year, we only made $880 million. Right? You can't set every year. You want to. You always want to, but you just can't. And I don't know that I'm buying that nobody's watching.
It's a weird talking point.
It really is to me.
Where if I want to look at ratings, all right, what are people interested in? And, all right, let's hit some stories on that. But for the amount of people that sit in front of a microphone, and all of them, the majority of them are sitting there in New York City and run that lazy talking point out there all the freaking time, knowing this is the worst case scenario for the NBA. Is Lakers Celtics a different pop than Nuggets Heat? Yes, it is. But at the same time, we also see fans, they get tired of LeBron James. And why are you talking about the Lakers? Why are you talking about the Dallas Cowboys? And then you get two teams in here that are legit teams, that are something different, that have stars that fit their personality. And then it's like, oh, ratings are going to suck. What do you want, y'all? What do you want from this process?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things to it. You get a star, a Curry, a LeBron. There's not many more than that, right? And that's what you had last year. So then it transcends a little bit. All right, Steph Curry's in every damn commercial, right? Mm-hmm. Steph Curry's on Good Morning America. Steph Curry's talked about on Fox and CNN. Steph Curry, like it's a different cat.
Nikola Jokic doesn't have a Taco Bell commercial. By tomorrow, it's a failure.
Well, it is a failure.
He was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial.
It is a failure. No, it was made for that. Like, it's perfect. But the guys are transcend, right? And there's not that many in the NBA right now, are there? If I told you LeBron and Steph, who else would you tell me? There isn't one, right? They're both in big markets, but both West Coast. Who's the biggest East Coast personality in the NBA?
Joel Embiid.
But is he? Does he resonate outside a hardcore basketball fan? Like if you went down the hall, that's what I'm saying. LeBron and Steph. If you went down the hall to our sales force and said, here's 5 pictures, pick out, or 3 pictures, pick out a Joel Embiid. Is there anybody? Like, I don't know that I think there is. In the whole NBA East.
Who's that in sport?
Well, Tom Brady is.
Play.
He doesn't play anymore. Who's that in sport? God, it used to be a bunch of them, right? I mean, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Tiger Woods. But does he still play?
Tiger Woods still plays.
All right. I mean, right? That's so fair. I mean, who else? Give me a commercial. Luka Doncic does it. Zion could have been that guy. Tom Brady will still be that guy. It's funny. It's still kind of Michael Jordan still does. Larry Bird still does. Magic Johnson still does. Like, you see Magic in a commercial, he's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is Chris Paul? A little bit.
I think people see commercials with Chris Paul, but they probably don't know who he is.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the State Farm commercials, right? I'm thinking of Jalen Rose showing up in that commercial with Chris Paul. The good old days. Like, actually, that's really funny. Do people know who the hell that is? I don't know. But it's really, really funny for the people who do. Does Giannis transcend a little bit? Do people know who Giannis is? We walk down the hall. There's not a chance, right? It's kind of crazy. Think about it.
Because the ones that do aren't playing. It'd be like Tom Brady,
Ohtani,
Peyton Manning,
Ohtani.
No one could pick him out of the lineup right
That's
now.
probably right. That's probably right. No, you're probably right.
That's wild.
Aaron Judge.
Judge could be interesting.
Aaron Judge. I think most people would know who Aaron Judge is. No?
That's what makes, when we were talking about all-time greats, the players that do transcend sport, makes them so special.
There's not. Who would you say is the highest profile player in the East? That would have the best Q rating outside of basketball fan? Giannis? Jimmy Butler maybe now? Trae Young? Joel Embiid? Who's left on the
MVP?
You know who it would be? I'll tell you who it would be. It'd be James Harden, and it's all branding on the beard. It'd be James Harden. That's the one guy that you could go down the sales, and that's the guy with the beard. And it's all branding because he has the beard. I mean, you got a higher profile guy in the whole East than that? It's kind of nuts, isn't it? So that's why will ratings be down a bit? I expect they'll be down a bit. That doesn't mean it's going to be a failure. But it's all whatever narrative you want.
Yeah, that's like, if that is such a talking point for you, if that's on your mind, then I don't know what to do. You're going to miss out on what should be a fantastic series, because this is what people scream about all the time. They're tired of LeBron James, and why are you talking about the Lakers or the Cowboys? Well, here we go. You have two teams that have been the best teams in the playoffs. When we talk about effort, consistency, the coaching matchups in every single round, and they're matching up on the biggest stage.
Yeah, give me something different, and you got it. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
Telling it like it is.
The floor.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides
in Arizona Greyhawk. Two better than Oregon. Oregon was 27th, and the freshman from Cibola High School, Aiden Kraft, playing in his first year at Oregon, did play in the NCAA championship for Oregon. He did make their top 5, and he was 15 over par. That's where he finished, 15 over. He was third on his team. So he's got a great, fourth on his team. Got a great future, does that young man from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Had triple bogey on the 6th hole, which hurt him a little bit in his last round, but played really well and had a terrific freshman year. So there's a lot. I keep telling you about the golf. I was talking to some people this weekend about the junior golf, and they're telling me about this 12-year-old that's going to be insane. And I'm just, it's amazing now. The fact that, and you've watched it over the last bunch of years, and now you're starting to see it a little bit from the other end. The commitment to junior golf, the programs are really, really producing quality golfers coming out of here.
Absolutely, it's big time recently.
It's been fun. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. The text line and the phone line are the same number. That's it. It says on the text line, Jeffro, I just can't see the Heat beating the Nugs. Even if Edwards' man crush Tyler Hero is back, the Nugs are too good, too deep, too long. Jokic will be the MVP, and the Nugs will win 4-1. Finally, Denver will get one. It's from Don. 4-1, he said. It's going to be interesting to see how much Miami's got in the tank.
They have plenty.
And I think they have plenty, too.
Keep doubting the Miami Heat.
No. Have I ever once doubted them?
No.
No. I'm not that guy. But, yeah, I see.
But it's when they're up 3-0, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, they'll get the next one. Oh, they'll get the next one. Oh, they'll get the next one.
3-3, I was still on
Game 7, and found out who these teams really are.
Yeah.
And it was Game 7 was the definition of the Celtics and Heat in both their postseason runs this year. This is no less than 6 games in the NBA Finals.
I think that's right. So you guys are both Denver sports fans. What would this mean for Denver? So the Broncos have won. The Avalanche have won. It's not like they're a city that has never won. And I think Denver is the best sports city from the Mountain Time Zone West in America. Okay? And I would put Denver up there. I've always said I think Chicago and Boston are the best 2 sports cities in America. I just, from fan base to history to teams to passion to competitiveness to championships, I think Detroit's a good sports city. I think Denver's a good sports city. I think Dallas is a good sports city. But I think Denver is one of the top 5 sports cities in America. Do you guys agree with me?
Absolutely.
Now, you got relatively new franchises, right? The Avalanche moved from Quebec. Nuggets came up from the ABA. The Rockies are a relatively new team. But I think it's such a great sports town. But it's not a town that has never won one, right? Like you say, San Diego's never won a championship. Seattle's won one back in 1971. There's some towns you kind of it would blow the place up. What would are the Nuggets last in the hierarchy in sports up there? It feels to me like it's the Broncos, the Avalanche, the Rockies, and the Nuggets. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I'd say Rockies 4th.
Rockies 4th. You feel that same way?
Yes.
All right. So Broncos, Avs, Nuggets, Rockies. Is that because the Rockies have never won anything? They've been to a World Series.
You know, it kind of goes back to the Monforts. It's just the relationship with the city is not good.
All right. So what would this mean to the city?
It would be huge. Denver is kind of a down-low basketball town. You will see Nuggets jerseys everywhere. It will change things. It really will.
So I'm going to bring my remote kit, and if I find tickets for Game 2 on Sunday, I may stay and do the show remote.
You should.
If I stumble into some tickets. This is a big deal. Like for your guys' fandom, are you gonna let yourself be a fan? I know you will.
No,
why would you not?
I don't like to hurt that badly. So, but I like to.
that is being a fan.
In covering sports, though, I mean, it's one of those things you
you never get to be a fan. No, I get it. I never get to be a fan. I did it for a 3-week run this last March, right? Will you let yourself be a fan?
Yeah, I think that there is being honest and open about who we root for. I still think you can be objective even doing that, because I think actually at times I'm harder on the teams that I support,
no doubt,
than anything else.
No doubt. Are you guys ready to make a call? Like, you got to feel good about you got to feel good about where your team is. I mean, no matter who you play at this time, I don't care who it is. You got the 8th seed, but they're really good no matter who you play.
I'm just waiting for the. It's not a world championship take if the Nuggets do win, because they only beat an 8th seed.
That would be the worst take. Period. That would be worse than the Lakers don't count because it was a bubble win, right? That would be worse than that. You think that's coming?
No. What I'm prepared for,
yeah,
is a great series, because these are two teams that people clamor for. We don't sit here and we're not like, oh man, I can't stand watching Jokic play. I can't stand watching Jimmy Butler play, man. All these dudes do is complain, yada, yada, yada. Like, these are the two teams that night in and night out, we have never questioned their effort. When they get beat, we are not like, oh, they quit. The coach has no idea what he's doing. Just got beat.
You know, it's such a good point. So sports is all about emotion, right? I mean, it is.
Yep.
Why do you like or dislike a certain team? It's emotion. Does anybody dislike the Nuggets or dislike the Miami Heat? Like, what's the unless you just got
Lakers
beat by
and
them?
Celtics fans, right?
Yeah, unless you just got beat by them. But what's the dislike about the Nuggets? Like, honestly, what's the? I don't like Jokic because he wins the MVP because he's a big, slow, big white guy who can't jump over a phone book. I mean, I hear that a lot. He's so unathletic. Oh, okay. You mean he doesn't play the game like everybody else? He plays it differently. Okay. What's there to not like about the Miami Heat? There's no arrogance. They're gritty, just got the it to them, workmanlike. I mean, these are actually two really likable teams. And that goes back to your point, or one of your points on people probably should watch that. I think that was your point, DC, right? You were saying, like, people are going to watch this because they're fun, likable teams. I don't know. Where do you come? I mean,
I think this is sport fan is going to enjoy this because this is what everyone is clamoring for. Now, they don't like to admit it, but people love great teams and great players. They'll say they're sick of it, but they also like it because they can root against it.
You got different great players.
And you have, this is different. And this is why you're going to hear takes this week. Oh, the NBA has got to be so sad, upset behind closed doors. Okay, we'll find out how fans really react. The ones that like to scream they're done with this or that. Like, this is two teams where their stars set the tone, where the coaches and the superstar players in each team are on the same page. Both teams feed off of that energy, off the way that Jokic and Butler play. And that's why I'm expecting this to be a great series, because everything in Miami Heat have done this season, like, you can pick the Nuggets, but the Nuggets are not going to, like, roll over the Miami Heat. Like, I do not see the Heat not putting up a
100%.
tremendous fight and this being a great series to watch.
Yeah. Jack says, what a difference a game makes, Jeff. If the Heat lose last night, we're talking about how they went full Alicia Chocamo. Yeah. You're right. But they didn't.
It was almost an amazing collapse by the Heat.
But it wasn't.
To be in that position and then lose 4 in a row.
But it wasn't.
But here we are.
And you know what makes the story even better? You know what makes it even more amazing that they didn't? The way they lost Game 6. The gut-wrenching, rip your heart out and spit on it and stomp on it. The way they lost Game 6, a tenth of a second away from going to the finals. And to come back from that and not just win, but go on the road and beat the crap out of the Celtics in their own place. After that, that's what makes it even more amazing. Get you everything you need to know as you go through your Tuesday when we come back on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Bummer.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you. even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits.
The Heat's 103-84 victory over the Celtics in Game 7 in Boston. Heat Nuggets NBA Finals starts on Thursday in Denver. People will be talking about, your hockey friends are going to be talking about the way the Vegas Golden Knights pumped the Dallas Stars yesterday 6-0. Game 6, the Knights are on to the Stanley Cup Final. They will play the Florida Panthers. Game 1 will be in Las Vegas. And DeAndre Hopkins, the all-pro wide receiver, cut over the weekend by the Arizona Cardinals. He's a free agent and will be out shopping. So that's all out there for you. And then there's this. And so you play golf, I play golf. I have never heard of anything like this. When people are going to be talking about this as well. Oregon, the University of Oregon was playing Greyhawk in Arizona, as were the Lobos, in the NCAA championships. And in round 3 on Sunday, a golfer named Greg Solhog was forced out of play. On the 11th hole, you guys, have you ever heard of this? He stepped on a tee, a wooden golf tee. It went through the sole of his shoe and impaled his foot. He was tended to by tournament medical staff. He was forced to withdraw. You ever heard of anything like that?
Was he teeing off with nails?
It was a wooden tee. Obviously, being a Oregon golfer, he was wearing Nikes. I promise you that. I was like, I was wearing Nike golf shoes yesterday too. I think I'm going to wear my Adidas now.
A little nervous now.
Yeah, a little bit. FootJoy maybe a little thicker. I'm just trying to think of, you've got to hit that thing dead on. It's got to be pointing straight up for it to go through the sole of your shoe. I mean, if you ever put your hand in your pocket to grab like a coin or something to mark your ball, I've
get poked by a tee.
I've cut myself with a tee, got poked by a tee. You guys have done that?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of hurts. Or I've had it go right under the nail. That really hurts. But this went through his sole of his shoe and impaled in his foot, man. It's bonkers to me. That's not good for Nike. By the way, I did not know this until I just dug a little deeper. The same young man a few hours prior hit an errant tee shot, and it hit a woman named Erin Stark, the mother of a Texas player. She suffered a fractured finger from that and required a splint. I don't know if you think it's karma, but he hit some other dude's mom with an errant tee shot, and then he stepped on a tee. I've never heard. I've played golf for a lot of years. You guys ever anything like that?
No,
that's first.
One of the most bizarre things ever. You know what's first now? And I guess it's not first. We've had a few. There's no hockey or hoops tonight. Like, it's a Tuesday night, and I'm going into there's no playoff hockey or hoops tonight. Like, I don't even know what to do.
I'm rewatching Game 4 of the Nuggets.
Is that what you're doing? No, that's a good one for you. I mean, honestly, what do I do?
Well, you could you see that person across the street screaming, waving their hands up? Major League Baseball. They want to say hi to you.
All right. All right.
And no one notices them over there.
No, I'll take a look. I mean, I will. Who the Rockies play tonight? Do you know the Padres are only a game above the Rockies? Padres most disappointing team in Major League Baseball so far.
Oh, always.
Not always. but
Always with the recent paper tiger run that they're on.
how the hell are the Diamondbacks in second place in that division? Name me 3 Diamondbacks. Go ahead.
The catcher's Moreno, Corbin Carroll.
You can be making stuff up.
Zach
and I
Gallen.
don't even know. No, seriously. You can
Ronald
be making.
McCarthy, outfielder from the minor leagues.
Really?
Randy Johnson.
No, that's wrong. That's incorrect. That one I know is incorrect. Who'd you just tell me?
Schilling?
Kurt Schilling.
Luis
No,
Gonzalez?
I'm pretty sure. Their catcher Moreno knows their first name by any chance?
Gabriel.
That's correct. Yeah, Frank. Who else did you tell me?
Corbin Carroll.
Who's he? Oh yeah, he's outfielder.
Christian Walker. Josh Rojas.
Come on, what about Evan Longoria? I mean, he's the
I got
star.
you. You're home for the Arizona Diamondbacks roster coverage right here on the opening drive.
Hell was that? That was really good. Good stuff today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. And then it's Isotopes in Salt Lake City opening a 6-game set with the Bees. Adrian looks great on TV. Thanks for producing. DC, welcome to another week. They're all short like this. Not really. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with award-winning radio then. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.